YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Listen, man, we back in the kitchen, baby. Listen, take it all the way back from when I started doing the tech reviews with the PC stuff, the pre-builds and such. It just works out to be cool, guys. Listen, man, got this new monitor today by BenQ. This model is EX3210U. The Mobius 32-inch 4K 144 hertz with a display HDR of 600. This also is a HDMI 2.1 monitor, so offers you two 2.1 monitors that will enable you to have 4K 120 hertz for your PlayStation 5 and your Xbox Series X. This has a new feature called HDRI. It stands for High Dynamic Range Intelligence. Something new to me, where essentially it's supposed to have the ability to, automatically adjust and soft calibrate the content based on what you're watching or what game you're playing. This does feature a remote, which I'm really excited to utilize, because this is going to ultimately go into another arcade project. So in this video, we're going to get it connected to my extension cabinet, but ultimately this is going to rest in what I hope to soon be what I own, which is a Chulix cabinet. I'm planning to build my own Street Fighter 6 arcade machine, guys. Really excited about this. This monitor does feature some speakers too. So yeah, I'm really happy about this, man. Happy to add this to the collection. So we're gonna take a look at this right after this intro. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you. In the previous clip before the intro, I think I said that this had two HDMI monitors. I'm a little exhausted, sorry. Just got done working, just got done filming the video that went up yesterday talking about the Samsung TV. Well, I got the same shirt on, trying to cram out two videos tonight, but this has two HDMI 2.1 ports and one display port. The display port is how you're gonna be able to achieve 4K at a maximum 144 frames per second or refresh rate, right? The two HDMI 2.1 ports are also full 48 gigabyte per second. So you got the run of the mill of everything that you need, variable refresh rate, all of that. So shouldn't be any issues. Now, let's go ahead and get this thing open because it's so wide. I was looking at it, the kitchen counter had the space, but I decided to just get it in here and we will open this thing up. So we're gonna do an unboxing here. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I am really excited about this, getting tested out, see how this thing looks, performs. Input latency is supposed to be really low on this thing. I wanna say somewhere in the ballpark of like, I don't even wanna quote right now and say the wrong thing. All right, let me make sure I can open this up correctly. Just gonna open up here. Yeah, let me flip this on the other side. All right, so come on over here. Let's take a look at the contents of what we've got in this package. Everything's packaged up really nice. We do have a remote. This is one of the things that I really like about this. Kind of borderline makes it feel like a TV almost. Obviously a TV would have a coax, but having a remote is really nice. So if I'm putting this in the cabinet like I'm planning to, I'm not going to be able to go behind it and adjust settings. So I'll be able to do that with the remote. This is going to come with a manual, and we are going to go through this. It's going to be a full unboxing. I will do some time stamps in the description of this video to kind of encompass what we've got going on. So we've got reg statements, and we've got monitor limited warranty. We've got safety instructions, and then we've got pretty much diagram and a breakout of everything that's included. So monitor, the arm, the base, the backing, the remote, batteries inside of it, power supply, Comes with an HDMI cable, a USB B to A, probably a 3.0, as well as a display port cable. So all of that just giving you a breakdown of what you can expect to see. Diagram there. Yeah, this is really cool. I love that the ports are positioned bottom. They're not back. So this is turning out to be really good so far, right? So we got all that instruction manuals there that just pretty much tells us everything that we have. So I'm going to get all of this out since I just showed you that, and we'll phase right back. All right, so the brick doesn't look like it's manufactured by BenQ unless it's a sister company. It has a badge that says APD on it, right? So I will research that just to see if it's something that I can find in case I need to give me a secondary one. I did purchase this with a 4-year warranty, so I'm pretty much in good hands for anything unless I physically break the screen. But again, my intentions are to have this thing behind a piece of plexi, ultimately on a Chulix cabinet, so that I can game on it and I don't have to do anything with that, right? That's my end game. This says that it's 100 to 240 volts. I do have a charger that came with one of my MSI gaming laptops that looks to be the same wattage and the same exact connection. So I think I may already have a second option. Once I do get this thing connected at some point, I'll test that. So all the contents in the box, I know I just showed you guys, but we're gonna physically take some of these things out just so we can take a look at it on camera, make sure nothing is banged up. If you need to phase to the next timestamp, feel free to do so. This monitor is a white aesthetic. The back of it's white. I think I already mentioned that it does have speakers. Now, apparently it's supposed to have like a subwoofer integrated into it somehow. I'm interested in seeing what this is going to sound like. So let's take a look at this arm piece. And if you guys got questions about this monitor or any other monitors, I do inspect a lot of things beyond just TVs, and everything is obviously, as you can see, not OLED. Now, I will be asked the question, because I have been asked this question. Hey, Ken, why didn't you go and get the Alienware Quantum Dot OLED? It is of no interest to me to have that monitor, none at all. I've been there and done there with pretty much every ultra wide that you can imagine, and that monitor does not offer me anything that I feel like I need. This, however, does. Samsung also has a monitor that is available and in pre-order for some places. I'm just gonna use some talking time while I'm doing this to speak on this. I love this silver and white aesthetic. I'm not really a big fan of this orange. It doesn't play well with like anything that I have going on. I don't know why they decided to do that. I really think that was a bad idea with this design, because I seen that on the box, but I don't think this is attractive at all. Samsung has a monitor, 4K, 240 hertz, really nice. That monitor is really cool, and it retails for about $1,500. You can pre-order that in many places. You can buy it in some places. If you buy it somewhere, you might be spending more than that, but the retail on that monitor is $1,400. The retail on this was about $1,100. That monitor does give you ultra wide support, although it's not an ultra wide panel. It gives you 4K at up to 240 hertz, but it didn't offer me what I needed. This does. And the monitor was curved. This is not a curved panel. I didn't need a curved panel. If I want a curve, I'd get an ultra wide. If I want a curve, I'd buy the Alienware Quantum Dot. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. We'll be right back. All right, guys, look at this thing assembled. Like I said, the orange kind of throws it off to me, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. But I love the design of this thing, man. I'm not sure yet if this is speakers or not. I'm thinking this may be, right? I don't know if that's speakers or if everything is rear firing. Like if this is left or right and this is left and this is sub, I'm not sure. So we're gonna figure that out in a second, but I like the design. I like how thin it is, right? Like it's not really a big back. I have the Asus 27-inch full array local dimming. That monitor is thick. This isn't as thick. It's pretty nice light. This button right here pushes out and it kind of releases this mechanism which holds this arm. Monitor has the ability to go down and up. You can get a nice tilt forward and back, and you do have, as you can see, the ability to kind of turn that thing, right? Build quality feels good. Doesn't feel flimsy and cheap. And the right does have this high dynamic range intelligence logo there. That badge is there, right? So that's an overall look at this thing. Now I want to get it plugged up and I want to get my PlayStation connected to it. All right, so I got this thing connected. I like the way this looks. Guys, this is a very clean aesthetic for the PlayStation 5. I'm sorry. The Xbox, it'd be nice if there was some type of removable plates or something. I'm sure you can get this, it's skinned white, but you know what? The black console wouldn't go bad with this thing either. Looks really nice either way, but try to get it angled there. As I said, I showed in the diagram in the photo earlier, you've got all the ports there. I did miss that you've got cable routing here. So it goes through there. And then this plate is just gonna go up there. I need 2 hands to get that done, but I wanted to show that to you guys. Let me get that connector real quick, show it to you. There we go. You have that piece connected. This thing looks so good, man. This is a very attractive monitor. On the back, you've got your lock there if you're in like a LAN center or something to that effect. But this looks good, man. One connection there to power it up. Let's see. Let's get a first time going here. Let me peel this off. All right, so we got that peeled. Here's a good look at the remote. Camera showing more light bleeding than I was seeing in person, I'll tell you that. All right. There we are. So we do have a very nice aesthetic there. Let me get my controller and let's get this thing set up. All right, so I went to hit the mute button and I was met with this notification right here. The following monitor functions are disabled by default to minimize power consumption in compliance with the international energy standards. So any change to the default display settings may consume more power. To utilize the monitor, select confirm to enable all functions. So we're gonna do that. I need this remote controller to be able to control everything. You got presets here. That's standard. Cinema, okay. Just gonna put it on game for now. That's what I want to focus on. Scenario. I don't know what that does, but we're playing around with it. Okay, that's for the input. So you can adjust each one to make it specific. If it's going to be game mode or not, that's pretty awesome. Color mode. Okay, so you have several different. You have a gaming HDRI, right? And then you have a cinema HDRI. So this is a preset that does adjust on the fly. That definitely looks a lot warmer. I'm going to stick to this. And you have some settings you can go to, sharpness and such. I'm not going to dial that up too much. Light tuner. Okay, that's tinkering around with the brightness. I'll just turn that all the way up so we can see all that light bleed. Nah, but it really does look, it looks pretty decent in person though. So middle line here, you kind of got that guy set there. Yeah. Let's see. So I think you would have to turn this off in order to get your presets, kind of like you would have on the OLED from the FPSER, PG, and so forth. Yeah, I think I would want to turn that down a little bit more. Yeah, give me that darkness similar to that cinema eye care. Light meter. I think the light meter is in this vicinity right here. I'm not gonna mess with that. Okay. I think with the HDR setting that I have on now, you can't tweak the warm color because it's set to pretty much do it all. See, automatically you've got that light sensor, that eye sensor there. Let's see, turn these lights off. Yeah, and you see how this kind of, you can get to see it, but that changed a little bit. Turn the light on, it kind of notices that. That's really awesome. Turn that light off and it does adjust to try to offer you a more optimal picture setting. So that's awesome, man. So there's a quick connect here for the high dynamic range eye, and you can kind of toggle through there. Again, I'm going to keep it on game. So the HDR is on there. We're going to go and that's where I can actually see it. Let's light off. Kind of walk you guys through this. All right. So I'll mess around with some of these settings and I'll be right back. All right, so messing around with the presets, you definitely can see that there is a change in like the red from the HDR versus the HDRI. Again, the HDRI is designed to take whatever the content is and it modifies itself based on what it needs to see. When you have just HDR on, you can go and you can toggle through some different game presets. Right now it's telling me it's disabled, but you can go in and manually adjust some different things. So if you're looking more for that punchier red and so forth that you kind of get from like the Samsung and the LG and so forth, then you would definitely want to turn the HDRI off. But again, the point of it is to try to soft calibrate the internal settings of the TV or the monitor, based on what the content is actually showing you. So the red it doesn't pop as much. I'm looking at it on my camera and it looks red, but it's definitely much more warm, as well as that eye sensor comes in and it just automatically adjusts the brightness and the sharpness and so forth, because the image, when I go to turn that feature off, when I just go down to display HDR, the image tightens up a little bit more, so I can tell that the sharpness is adjusted based on whatever that preset is that is physically set in there. The HDRI is going to definitely take it. Now, again, the idea behind this is depending on what game you're playing, it's going to change on the fly, right? Like, so it's going to adjust itself, and that's a really cool feature for a monitor to have, especially because they don't have as much in-depth settings as like TVs do. I just made another discovery. This thing has some illumination in the back of it. So I was questioning if these were speakers. No, that's actually lighting. So and you do have the ability to adjust it with manual controls. I'm disappointed there's not a white there, but that's about as good as you can get. Close. So this button right here, right, top row before the final right, also gives you a preset for audio. This RCG sounds the best, the most bassy, in my opinion. But you can kind of toggle through those different options. And then the volume mute does work. You're down and up, goes up to 50 max. Do have this thing on running 120 hertz mode. There's not a direct frame rate counter on there that I can see so far. However, it does give a readout that FreeSync Premium is active, high dynamic range is on, and we can see with the Spider-Man that it's running at the 49 or 48 frames or hertz that, you know, the game runs at. But we are getting 120 frames out of this thing. It is very smooth, fluid. Input latency is like non-existent. This feels very much so like the Samsung S95B as well as the C2. So just a really, really good option if you're looking to play on a smaller panel and you don't mind having that, you know, a little bit of light bleeding here and there. This monitor is not overly bright, so playing with the HDRI will put you in a position where, you know, you're not overly saturating contrast and things of that sort. So it just automatically just adjusts things really well and on the fly. Like I said, build quality of the monitor feels good. I like it. I think that this is going to work out to be great for me. This is going to be a part of a project. There is not a monitor better than this on the market for the money, in my opinion, for how I'm going to be using it. Now, I'm not that concerned with you can pull it to me. I'm not that concerned with, like, realistically the console, because there's not a lot of single player titles that I'll play. This is going to give me optimal space and will fit into the cabinet that at some point I'll be getting my hands on. I'll make another video later getting this connected to the extension Vuelix clone cabinet that I currently have. We recently did the 32-inch curve monitor for that one. So this one's going to go in there for now, just to have it in there so that I can use it and test it and practice on some fighting games. But when I get this Chulix cabinet or this, you know, clone Vuelix cabinet in the future, it's going to be a project from there. So I'll be gutting the monitor out of that and putting this there. The speakers sound pretty good, okay? But for what I'll be utilizing it for, I won't be using the speakers because the cabinet itself will have 4 speakers. I'll be buying an amp. So that's going to be a whole different project for a later date. If you guys happen to have some questions about this thing, let me know. I don't really do monitors on my channel, but I do like to keep you guys up to date with the type of things that I've got going on. It's why I feel like I have such an advantage when I speak to a gaming perspective of the TVs, is because I've been using like really high-end monitors for a long time. So on the gaming side of the TVs, because I use these monitors, like, I'm really, really picky. I'm much more pickier than pretty much anybody that I've seen that does gaming stuff on YouTube with the television. So thank you for your support. Make sure you guys leave a comment so we can dialogue. Like the video, that shows me some support. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're considering doing so, do that. Hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Max love.